Welcome to State of Tech. My name's Jared, and today we're taking a look at the Parrot Bebop 2 drone. Now, this drone came out last December and probably will be updated again this December. I'm just guessing because every December for the last 2 iterations, they have released a new version. But this drone caught my attention because Parrot, obviously, they've been making these drones for a while. They're one of the first that kind of got into camera drones, but they're also a bit different. Like, their market is a bit different than maybe the person that wanted to go and buy like a DJI camera drone. Their drones seem to be kind of a happy medium between hobbyist, like flying for fun and excitement, and somebody who wants to have a drone that can take a half decent photo or video clip. So this is the setup here. This is the red version of the drone, and I've seen it in a couple of other colors, but on Amazon they have it in red and black and white and black, and it's actually on sale right now. I don't know how long that's gonna last. But the drone itself has a battery pack that's pretty good size, and it seems to get some decent runtime. I flew this thing around for about 15 minutes, and I didn't even see the battery level change on the controller here. So I don't know what the total runtime is yet because I've never ran it longer than that. I go and fly for like 15 minutes, put it away, I go back out and fly for 15 minutes. So continuous runtime I'm not entirely sure on, but it seems like you can get quite a bit of continuous flight out of one of these. And the battery will run out faster on the drone itself than the remote. And so when the drone battery is like at maybe a third or a quarter left, like I'll just swap them, and then I've got a lot more runtime. And it's been pretty cool that that's possible because the remote takes the same battery as the drone. They're swappable, and you get more runtime out of it. So the remote is big and kind of clunky. I mean, it's a big, heavy remote. It's super wide. It's different than what we're used to seeing with a lot of these other drones that have smaller, more compact RC type of radio controls. Like, this is more like a fighter pilot setup or whatever, maybe like you're flying an actual drone. This is just a different setup. And it comes with a shoulder strap so you can kind of hang it from your shoulder and control. And it has lots of different controls that are on it. Let's just take a look at some of those. So I have here a Samsung tablet. It also works with an iPhone, and I plugged one of my phones and my other iPad into it as well, and it all works. So they've done a good job at that. Their app is pretty simple to navigate. The one thing that you will need to know when you're actually connecting to your drone is that it connects through Wi-Fi, and you have to actually make that Wi-Fi connection first. So when you turn on the drone, it transmits a Wi-Fi connection. You have to connect to Wi-Fi in your device. It's not like some other drones that will automatically connect from drone to remote. This actually connects drone to tablet, and then to the tablet to the remote. So the remote actually controls the tablet versus the drone. It's just a little different. And then there's also a version of this where you actually just use the tablet only and not the controller. So the controller basically just gives you kind of more realistic, drone flying kind of feel because you have the controls, whereas you can control it directly on the tablet device in and of itself without actually, even needing anything other than just the drone and your tablet, which that makes for a super cool just small package. Like, this remote is big and maybe you don't have the room to take much with you. Take your tablet, take this little drone, the props come right off, and it's a very small package, and you can, put it in your suitcase and take it with you. The remote, though, has a lot of buttons. It has buttons for recording and taking pictures. One would think that the camera doesn't move because it looks fixed. It looks like a fixed camera, but there is actual movement, and you use this control here to move the camera up and down or side to side. And that's actually kind of neat because it gives you a lot more movement of the camera than you typically get in other drones. This one gives you some decent ability to follow a shot, which I like. I thought that was kind of neat. It has a very easy to get to recording button with your left thumb here, and then to take a photo, you simply push in. And what I thought was really neat is that I didn't have to toggle any switches or do anything to get between photo or video mode. I simply just push buttons and it does what I want it to do, which is great. A lot of other drones are not like that. So aside from this remote just being really large, I mean, it will accept a small 7-inch tablet all the way up to a larger iPad, you know, like an iPad Pro. I mean, you can see how big this gets, and there's plenty of room for tablets. And then it also comes with an adapter for smaller devices, you know, such as smaller tablets. And you can also put your phone in this little section right here. So you just raise this up, and then you put your phone in this smaller section. So aside from the remote just being kind of big and clunky, I like the feel. It gives me more of a futuristic feel with the controls, to whereas with most other drones, you're with this small radio and your hands are close together and your shoulders are in. This is a very comfortable kind of platform. It's a little heavy, which is why you'd want to use that strap, but it still is pretty neat. So flying the drone around was a lot of fun. It's very responsive, and it locks onto that GPS. I was really surprised. A lot of other drones have drift and whatnot. This thing was right on it. It didn't seem to drift out of the way or anything. If you stopped it, it stopped. If you went to one side and stopped, like, it just would lock into position and stay there. I love the automated takeoff and landing was very smooth. It frightened me a little bit for the first time when it landed, because it did land a little fast, but this is a very lightweight drone, and it's built, you know, pretty durable. I don't think it could take flying straight into a wall or anything like that, but nonetheless, it's lightweight, it's pretty fast, and it is fun to fly. I see this as being something different. Like, if you were thinking to yourself, like, do I spend a little bit more money and get a DJI Phantom, or do I get something like this? Like, it really depends on what you are wanting to accomplish. Like, if you're getting a drone because you want to fly it and have fun and take some photos and videos while you're doing it, like, this is definitely a lot of fun. And I feel like this is a more forgiving platform, something that you could fly around. You know, if a propeller caught a tree or something like that, it would go down gently. It wouldn't hurt itself too bad. You wouldn't snap the thing in half. Whereas with some of these other drones, like the DJI Phantom, if you lose a prop and that thing goes down, you're pretty much replacing the whole drone. There's just too much to break on the thing, and it's heavier. So with something like this is more fun for hobbyists who want to get into flying drones, whereas I think there are other drones that may be a little bit better for capturing photos and video. This has definitely been a lot of fun to play with. And so, you know, in that, when you're trying to decide what drone, because there's just so many of them out there right now, it really comes down to what you want to do with it. And I think that the Parrot does a really good job at being fun to fly and just being an all-around fun kind of technology toy to have, because it covers the bases with a decent camera. You have the ability to use it just with a tablet or the remote, and then there's also the ability to put on FPV goggles as well, which gives you even a different experience altogether. That's something that I haven't played with yet, but I definitely look forward to trying on this little drone. So, you know, you see drone racing and all that stuff becoming something that's, you know, televised and becoming really big. Like, this is where you would want to start out. You'd want to start out with something like this because it has a camera in it. It has everything that you'd need. It's fast, but it's not too fast. There's not too much that can go wrong here. It's pretty self-contained, and that would be a great starting point for anybody who wants to get into flying drones for recreation, as opposed to somebody who might buy like a bigger expensive camera drone because they want something that's maybe not as good at flying or not as agile in the air, but is better at taking photos or better at shooting video. That's definitely the difference here. This doesn't have some fancy camera hanging down from the bottom of it because it's meant to be fast and nimble, and it has the camera built into the nose like a racing drone. Typically, the racing drones have a camera here for you to view, and then they've got a camera on top for actually capturing their trip or whatever. But the camera that you have in view here is the one it's adjustable, so when you're flying fast, you can adjust the camera angle. It's it is really neat that it has those things. And that's what makes this drone unique as opposed to a strict hobbyist drone that may cost less but doesn't have all the features, and then maybe the difference between a more expensive camera drone. So definitely a lot of fun. I mean, it is big. It's a lot that's here. This thing is huge, and sure, I wish it was a fraction of the size. And the drone itself, like coming from flying like a DJI Inspire 1, it's a whole different experience. I knew that this was going to be more snappy and kind of, agile and whatnot. I'm excited to spend some more time with it and actually get better at it, because it's a different experience than what you'd be used to with a big camera drone, because it doesn't have all those extra appendages hanging off of it. So it's definitely fun. If you're looking for a drone to get into, recreationally, maybe you want to eventually race drones or do something like that. Like, this is a great introductory level. The app in it that it comes with definitely is an experience all in of itself, with tracking your flights and all that stuff. There's an in-app purchase for it that allows you to create waypoints, and the drone will actually fly those waypoints. So there's some cool things that you can do here that you definitely wouldn't be able to do on a standard hobbyist drone that just has a control. So if you're interested, the links are in the description below this video, so you could check out the Parrot drone. I think it's a lot of fun. It's definitely different than DJI drones. It's definitely different than lower end, like $100, $200, little pocket-sized drones. It's a nice in-between and a great place to begin and improve as you fly, and maybe even get into drone racing or something like that eventually. So links are in the description. Subscribe to our channel if you like this video. We like to produce videos like this, and you watching them makes us do more of them. So subscribe to our channel, and we hope to see you here next time on State of Tech.